Hi, I'm here with Jackie Coleman, who is the executive director of Maryland Hall. But more importantly, this week, she is no longer Jackie Coleman. She is General Cartwright of the Save a Soul mission. So, Jackie, welcome. And actually, this is not just welcome to Guys and Dolls. This is welcome to the Live Art Studio and welcome to Annapolis. We just did a first staging rehearsal with Jackie and the cast, and I think it's going to be a blast. So, welcome, and you having fun?
Yes, I'm having fun. I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. First night.
Yeah.
I wasn't even supposed to be here tonight.
I know.
But it worked out that I could come, and
I
I
know.
was just like, and my husband Jerry, you got to meet. He's
Yeah.
a theater director. He had said, "You can't miss the first reading. It is like about ritual.
Oh, I know.
You have to find a way to make it over." So
Yeah.
I taught my yoga class online.
Yeah, which
got myself together.
Yeah, which these are. I find new things about you all the time. So the way that this happened was, Jackie moved here in March. I think I reached out to you and said, "Hey, I would love to get together. Let's go have lunch." And we had lunch in Annapolis, and we talked, and we got to know each other a little bit. And then as the summer started to wear on, I said, we're going to do Guys and Dolls, and there are a couple of non-singing acting roles, and I knew that this would be something that would be right in your wheelhouse, because you may not know this, but Jackie is not just an arts administrator. She is an actor and is a theater person, and she's married to a director. So I knew if I called her, and the way the theater bug works is, I knew if I put it out there and then said, "Oh, I think this would be great, and here's where it's going to be fun," and you just keep dropping hints with each successive text, I knew. And you were terrific tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a number of different texts with a number of different tactics, and I did beg off and say, "Let me sleep on it. I'm not going to just jump and say yes."
Do you remember my response to that?
No.
Take your time. I know you'll be great in this role. I've been doing this so long.
You were determined, and
but
you
I
knew
knew this would be a good fit for you, because it's, you literally can walk out of your office at Maryland Hall, walk down the parterre box, go get your costume, and away you go. So I think this is fun. So most of your acting is not musical theater, right?
I have done some musical theater, but most of it has been straight theater.
Yeah.
And it's been a range. A lot of Shakespeare, classical theater, but also contemporary stuff. I did a couple of Japanese TV shows when I lived in New York City.
Really?
Yeah, and a couple of small, independent films that were starting out, and I had some decent roles, and kind of learned a lot through that. I was actually in a play in New York called Clickers, Boners, and Rocky Mountain Oysters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was an interesting piece. I played Mrs. Pretty.
Wow.
Isn't that a great title? I mean, a great name. Yeah, I like that.
Wow. Where was it?
Oh, it was one of those small,
it's got to be down in the village.
off Broadway.
Okay.
It was not a dirty play, even though the title had a few innuendos, but that was supposed to be the draw.
Wow. Yeah. So a lot of classical theater.
A lot of classical theater.
And I think in your office you have, was it Midsummer Night's Dream?
Merry Wives. It's Merry Wives of Windsor.
Okay.
And one picture, and the other picture is King Lear.
I was going to say, I thought it was King Lear.
I was Goneril and King Lear. These are posters from graduate school, and I was playing the roles and the pieces, and they asked us to take the photos, and so I did for the photo shoot, and they blew them up to big posters, and then they gave them to me afterwards.
That's great.
And of course, what do? You give them to your mother. Right. And what does my mother do? She does what many mothers does as my biggest fan. She framed them in expensive, beautiful frames, and then gives them back eventually. Right. Yes, after they hung on her walls for a while when they downsized.
Right.
So yes, they are now in my office, because it was on the. I thought I needed some theater in the office.
I don't know whether we talked about this, but there was a tutor at St. John's who, you mentioned King Lear, put me on to Nahum Tate's version of Lear, which was actually in its day more popular by far, he told me, than Shakespeare's version, but it has a happy ending. Go figure that out. I've read it a couple of times.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's you're waiting for the train wreck, And it's like, oh, okay, there's a little Deus Ex Machina at the end, a little miracle, and woohoo, everybody's happy.
Wow. Next thing you know, it'll be a musical.
It could be. Nahum Tate also is the guy who did the libretto for Dido and Aeneas.
I'd love to read it.
Yeah, I'll dig it up.
Great,
I'll find
thank
it.
you.
But so this is fun, and you're playing General Cartwright, who is a formidable character.
Formidable.
And but you know, at the end, you kind of you're taken in by the success of the mission, which was totally contrived, but
Yes.
it's kind of like whatever way it takes. Right?
She gets caught up in that frenetic energy
Yeah.
that gambling can give you, you know, when you're, I think that's that last little bit there that, and it was gambling that brought you here.
Oh, wow, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So what do you, so now that you're here in Annapolis, what's on the horizon? What do you want to do? What's next?
What's next? Well, I'm going to talk about Maryland Hall.
Of course.
Of course. I'm going to talk about, we have a couple of really exciting things this season. I don't know if you know, in our Maryland Hall Presents, we have healing conversations. So we're doing like a forum kind of conversation situation in the Bowen for people that like that kind of experience. We're actually in the process of putting together and launching, and we have the funding for, a new media arts division.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So we're going to be able to really ramp up both in the audio technology area, but also in the
Interesting.
graphic design and graphic classes, graphic design classes and that type of thing. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I am really enjoying working on building partnership with the resident companies.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
really
so
coming
important.
together.
That's so important.
Yeah,
That's a
been
garden.
Really great.
Yeah, and that's a garden that is really important, needs to be tended, and I think it's easy sometimes to sort of lose sight of that. And so I really appreciate one of the first things you did was sort of reach out immediately to the resident companies, which that made a big difference. It really did. So, and I'm looking forward to doing more things together with you and Maryland Hall. And
it's great, and this space that you're in is fantastic.
I'm glad.
People should come out and see the space at the mall.
Yeah, and
the
we do a lot of really cool stuff here. We have concerts. We did 3 chamber operas here a few weeks ago, and we really have some cool programs. So I think next up here is jazz. Do we have a jazz night? Is that the next thing? We have a jazz night on the last Friday before 21st we have it. And we also have open mic nights the last Tuesday of every month. So come in and sing your favorite Broadway song or pop song or whatever. So anyway, welcome to Live Arts and being a part of this craziness here, and welcome to Maryland Hall and
thank you.
And Annapolis, and here's to many more things together.
Here's to many more.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next Saturday or Friday at Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts when Live Arts opens our season. Go to the liveartsmd.org and go to our website, find the ticket link, click it. It'll take you to the Maryland Hall box office page, and you can get tickets. So come see Guys and Dolls next Friday and Saturday.